Welcome to 3DPL Tutorials ArchiCAD. This is the third in a series called 9-Minute How-To ArchiCAD Tutorials. And in these 9 minutes, I will be looking at a pitched roof dormer structure, how to build it my way. To illustrate the building of a dormer, I have modeled part of a structure. This view shows the first floor plan, where I have a floor slab and a composite wall. The next story up is the ceiling plan, which shows the ashlar wall and a part of the barge board. And the next story is the roof plan, and I've also shown a section to illustrate the elements I've used to build the structure. The 3D view shows the structure more clearly, and you can see what I have is a part of a loft that shows the ashlar wall and the angled pitched ceiling. I'm going to build a dormer with a window that will cut into this existing roof and the ashlar wall as well. The section through the roof shows the external wall and roof, the ceiling with the ashlar wall and the void. Next, I'll sketch a line on section 01 as a reference to show the extent of the dormer. And I'll do the same on section 02, which is really the elevation, to show the barge board and the dormer roof. It also shows two shapes which I'll make into morphs to use in solid element operations. I'll zoom in, and with the magic wand I'll click on each red line. The morphs will show up in 3D, but I'll only use them later on in the tutorial. Now I can start building the dormer by placing the dormer walls. I'll select the composite wall, scroll down and select dormer cheeks. But first I'll open the wall settings and change the height so that it is higher than the dormer ridge, say plus or minus 4 meters. Now I'll zoom in and draw a wall following the polyline from right to left, making sure the outside face is set as the reference line. Next, I'll open the roof plan and place the dormer roof structure. I'll click on Favorites and select Pitched Basic Fascia Barge. Then open Settings, where I've set the height from the home story. I've selected Basic Structure 200 mm thick with a pitch of 45 degrees. And I've set the eaves overhang to 132 mm. Now I'll draw the roof, making sure the geometry is set to multiplane, and I'll follow the red reference lines and click once to place the roof. Next I'll open Favorites and select Pitched Basic Roof Slate and open its settings with the height set to -798 mm and the thickness to 25 mm. Then in multiplane geometry, I'll change the overhang to 170 mm, and in the model panel, I'll override the surfaces with asphalt shingles to the top and titanium white to the rest. Now I can draw this roof using the same red lines as before and place it with a single click. And when that's done, I'll copy the roof and paste it to its original position. And with it still selected, I'll change its level in the info box to a little higher, say -758 mm. The exact level is not critical. I can change it later, but as this will be the ridge tile, I need to change its shape, so I'll drag its edge to meet the guideline near the center, and I'll do the same to the other edge. And now that's done, we can look at the 3D view. I still have to add 2 more dormer cheeks, the window, and trim the elements before it starts to look like a dormer. So I'll open the plan view again and change to the ceiling level, and then I'll move section S01 and align it with the wall, and then I'll open the section. Now I can see the dormer cheeks clearly. I have to suspend groups, then stretch the top of the walls down, zoom in and click where it meets the roof. Then make sure you do the same to the other side, and once that's done, I'll select and drag a copy of the wall upwards and place it on top of the bottom wall. Now I'll select the top node and stretch the wall length using the pet palette to the left so that it overlaps the ceiling, and I'll trim it later. And do the same to the other side. The 3D view still shows the walls penetrating the roof, so I'll select the 3D walls, then right-click and use Connect to trim the walls to the roof. Now I have to choose and select which roofs to trim to, so I'll zoom in and click on the fascia soffit, then choose which walls to keep. I'll click on the walls below the roof. And next I'll trim the remaining elements. I'll use Connect to trim the ridge tiles to the main roof. And once I've selected the side to keep, the trim is done. And I'll repeat the process to trim the dormer roof. Next, in Plan View, I'll trim the ashlar wall between the cheeks. Hold down Control and click on the wall between the cheeks in the guideline, then do the other side. Now I'll delete the redundant wall, then to stretch the walls to meet the cheeks, with the wall tool selected, click on the ashlar wall, hold down Control and the window button and click on the cheek and do the other side. And while I'm in this view, I'll insert the window. I have a window saved in my favorites that I'll use. I'll select it and open its settings, and I'll keep them as is. Then I'll insert it centrally in the dormer wall, making sure I click on the external face. Now in 3D, I'll use the Push-Pull tool in the pet palette to stretch the 2D morph shapes, and I'll use the Find and Select command to highlight their positions. Then I'll click on the Morph tool and pull the face forward. I can see through it as I've overridden the surface to a glass material. And with it selected, I'll add it as operator. Then I'll select the 3 roof elements and add them as targets. Then with the operation set to subtraction with downward extrusion, and press Execute. Then I'll select the morph, choose layers, and hide the morph. Now I'll find the other morph the same way. Remove the first morph and select the second. Then I can pull the face of this morph in the same way, and I'll add it as the operator. Then select the ceiling as the target and execute. Then hide the layer. Next, I'll close the Find and Select tool and click on the fascia roof element and add it as the target. Then I'll select the ceiling and add it as the operator and execute. Now the only elements left to trim are these 2 walls, and again I'll use solid element operations to select the target and operator to trim them. And this brings us to the end of the pitched roof dormer tutorial. Thank you for watching. Please press the like button or subscribe or watch my other tutorials.